Thank you very much for joining us again on TVC Breakfast, and welcome to the second half of the program. Well, the Independent Petroleum Marketers Association of Nigeria has signed an agreement with Dangote Refinery to directly lift and distribute refined petroleum products. Of course, this includes the premium motor spirit, the automotive gas oil, and dual-purpose kerosene. According to Abubakar Garima, the national president of IPMAN, this partnership aims to strengthen Nigeria's fuel distribution infrastructure, enhancing supply chain efficiency and cost effectiveness. He also urged IPMAN's members to support Dangote Refinery, highlighting the benefits of backward integration and its positive impacts on Nigeria's foreign exchange market. And joining us now to talk about this is engineer Adesegun Oshibanjo. He is the lead consultant at Macbit Transnational Limited. He joins us via Zoom. Thanks a lot for joining us again, Mr. Oshibanjo. So, of course, this news trickled in earlier in the week, talking about IPMAN now partnering with Dangote Refinery. But news circulating this morning says if IPMAN were to load this product via ship, they will be getting it at 940 naira per liter. But if they're loading it on their trucks, it will be 990 naira. Does this come across to you as a fair transaction, especially where Nigerians are concerned?
All right. Good morning again, and thanks. It's always a wonderful pleasure to be here again. Yes, groundbreaking agreement, I would say. There is this aspect that I've always talked about. We will start with this part that this groundbreaking agreement will take away one thing, the second leg of importation, which is, I'm happy that we have all agreed that we want to stop fuel importation. Fine. But there's still a second leg to it. And that second leg the second leg to it is that part, the aspect of the crude importation that Dangote Refinery has done. We don't have enough information about that. We don't know the volume involved. We don't know how long that's going to last before it gets exhausted, before we now come to the Naira-denominated crude oil that was sold to Dangote Refinery by the government. So this pricing thing, for me, it came to me, I really do not understand it, I must say, because if I get it well, Dangote is using NNPCL's benchmark to fix these two prices you just mentioned. And if we're going by that, those benchmarks were done based on importation. So is Dangote also coming back to do that? So this gives me, I really can't place my hands well to say whether we have a fair pricing or not a fair pricing. But like I always say at every opportunity, if we do not take out the element of importation completely out of our petroleum transaction, we would always have an unfavorable price coming to us Nigerians, the masses, not them. So that's what I'll say about the pricing aspect. I can't say it is fair. I cannot say it is unfair. But what we have right now, fuel prices are still too high, and the prices keeps escalating without explanation. That's what I'll say. In response to your question.
Right, and beyond pricing, let's also look at availability. When the NNPC decided to lift this product directly from Dangote, there were some complaints at that time. And now that marketers have decided to lift it directly themselves, so many persons are still complaining. What's the implication in terms of availability and possibly the end price, especially for the consumers? You've mentioned that you
Sorry,
cannot determine
you're
that.
faint. I can't hear you well. I cannot hear you well.
I'm asking you about the availability, the implication of this agreement on availability of fuel. I mean, before this time, there was a level of scarcity. So now that the marketers have decided to lift it directly, are we looking into a more available source of getting this product?
Sincerely, this agreement will take care of the availability issue. I want to believe fuel queues, at the filling stations, will disappear this time around. We will no longer have queues. It will be very available. It will be stable. There will be stable supply. We will have a good supply chain of fuel supply to every filling station in Nigeria. That I know, and that's, for me, that is the exciting part, of this. We will not be, holding on to, okay, when are the ships going to come? When is this? Nah. There will be steady availability. But see, beyond all this, if you ask me, I will tell you this meeting is just the start of the real meeting. The real meeting itself has not happened, because this meeting was just between IPMAN and Dangote Refinery.
All right.
Now, where is the role? We all know that, petroleum products is highly regulated.
All right.
And we're talking regulation.
Right. Mr. Oshibanjo, I am awfully sorry for interruption, but we must take this break. Kindly hold that thought. We'll come back. Please stay with us. You're watching TVC Breakfast.
We don't like to eat better, more nutritious meals, more veggies, but we want it tasty and easy too. No cubes, that's the secret. Made with real ingredients like chicken, parsley, and garlic, and enriched with iron, so your meals are better for you and more delicious too. That's the cocoa. Let's give it some accolades. Change your world by changing what's on your plate.
Hello, TVC Communications. How can I help?
What makes TVC the right choice for my business?
Excellent question, sir. Let me share some exciting facts with you.
Start your day on TVC Entertainment with Wake Up Nigeria, a family and lifestyle show. Your view empowers women globally.
It's your view, let it count.
Entertainment Splash delivers the hottest celebrity trends. On TVC News, we keep you informed with breaking news and in-depth analysis of events shaping the world.
I will continue to speak the truth.
TVC News at 7 and TVC News at 10 p.m. delivers the most important stories of the day. Max FM, your hit music radio station, captivates listeners daily across Lagos and Abuja, making every commute more enjoyable. Adaba 88.9 FM is not left out, as it is the voice of Southwest. And on TVC Digital, we reach to million viewers daily. All together, pulls in over 17 million viewers daily. Contact us on 0707 272 8338 or marketing at tvccommunications.tv. Partner with TVC Communications today. Let's grow together.
Right. Thanks a lot for joining us again on TVC Breakfast. And we've been speaking with Mr. Adeshegun Oshibanjo, who is an engineer and the lead consultant at Macbit Transnational Limited, talking about the prospects and, the intended benefits of the new partnership between Dangote Refinery and IPMAN, now that IPMAN has come on board to be lifting these essential products directly from the refinery. As you continue with your contributions, recall I interrupted at a point. We had to take that break. In addition to what you were saying, also help us understand, NNPC's position and what Nigerians stand to benefit, especially now that NNPC says it has officially ended the importation regime and is going to be sourcing these products strictly in the local market?
Okay. When it says, when NNPC says they will be sourcing the product from the local market, which local market are they talking about? See, there is a lot of communication issues here. When you're talking communication, okay, the person communicating a message has some responsibilities that must be fulfilled. Same to the person receiving the message recipient. Now, the communication about even this agreement itself is not very clear. It's ambiguous. It's this morning that I picked from you that in a way price has been settled. Sincerely, I don't think the price issue is settled. If we're going to have, must be seated at that meeting. NNPC must be there. Who else? Every other stakeholder in the petroleum industry must also be seated at that meeting. That is when we can say, yes, we have a formal meeting. By our standards, that meeting was an informal meeting. A formal meeting will have NNPC seated. And that is when we're sure of the implementation. Because when there is no legitimacy, that meeting, there is no legitimacy and authority conferred on that meeting. So for me, there's still a lot to be done. The presidency should be involved. The president is the current minister of petroleum. You know that, though, the ministry is split into two. We have oil and gas. We have, it's oil. It's oil. Then the other one is gas. Yes. So this still comes back to the president's table. Let's have a firm pricing. And see, let there be transparency, like I always say at every available opportunity. We need transparency in the pricing of the products. Let's have a complete price breakdown. If we're talking about importation, let's know what the ex-works price per vessel shipment is. What is also the freight cost? The FOB, the ocean freight, all the terminal charges, all the logistics, all associated charges, and the profit margin on this, on a shipment. Let's have transparency. Let's know what we're talking about. This, the Dangote shipment we're talking about, we do not know the details. Is this coming from the crude, the imported crude, or is it coming from the Naira crude? There are too much of ambiguities, if you ask me. Yeah?
Right. And still looking at this market structure that the NNPC has, decided to end importation from the local market. There are also concerns about how this is going to lead to an over-reliance on Dangote Refinery, as with other claims of monopoly in that sector, looking at the role of the NNPC in this situation.
If I hear you correctly, because you're a bit faint. If I hear you correctly, you're talking about monopoly coming back into this.
Right.
Is that a question?
Yes, please.
Hello? Okay, fine. I will be blunt here as always.
Right.
The thing is, monopoly is back. Whether we like it or not, monopoly is back. And I will back that up with the argument I've always proved. I've always posited all the time. Everything must be done to avoid any importation element in the costing of petroleum products. Because if that is not done, the price that will come, even the price we're paying right now, is not affordable. It is too high. And we all know that petrol, like we say in mathematics and engineering, it is a function of the function. what is meant by that is that petroleum is of a ripple effect. It translates into every sphere of the Nigerian endeavor. What aspect of our life do you talk about that you will not, apply petroleum, any of the products? There is absolutely none. So once there is, a price imbalance here, it translates into everywhere, and the ripple effect is on us. It brings us into very high cost of living. Again, what is the level of our purchasing power? What is the percentage of those that are in what I call first grade employment? We're talking about those in the upstream oil sector. What is the percentage? I don't even think it is up to 1%. So how many of us can afford to buy fuel, any of the products at the current rates? Those rates are too high. So for now, there will be some monopoly until the other refiners, the petroleum refiners, come on stream fully. We're hoping BOA will come on board as quick as possible, and other petroleum refineries. We're also hoping, sincerely hoping, that the government refineries, the NNPC refineries, will come back on CL or whatever name it's called or it goes by, has been there for decades without finding 1 litre of crude oil. And salaries, and every time we hear turnaround maintenance, TAM, what dividends are we getting for all this expenditure? It's a tough one. It's a tough one. But in the time being, yes, we have a monopoly with this situation, but it's a monopoly that I believe will fizzle out with time. So I don't really think that should really be our worry right now. Our worry should be the stability of the product, which we will achieve with Dangote Refinery. The next major issue is pricing, and we need to be very, very transparent. Let's see the breakdown of the pricing components, so that, yes, we know we're having a fair deal. Even if it's expensive at the end of the day, we will all, empathize with Dangote Refinery, with the government. But if you keep shrouding all this up in misery, nobody would show empathy for anything. It would look like, it's all cruelty. And that's what some of us would assume. We assume the whole thing is unfair. So that's
but
my
what
solution
is
on the issue.
Because the ideal, the PIA has also envisioned the reality that oil producers, not just the current state that it is, the monopoly that you are seeing, but that's not the idea that the PIA wants or seeks. And even NNPC's group chair has spoken about it recently, this week in fact, where he said that's the mandate, that oil producers, not just a monopoly, would provide this crude to the NNPC, to IPMAN and whoever needs it, at least locally. But how realistic is this? You have said that the best we should have is where we have an end to the current monopolistic hold that we are seeing now. What do you think can be done to encourage others to participate in the market? Perhaps that will also make the market more transparent.
I tell you, this venture is capital intensive. It's a donkey project. It's heavy. It's for those that have got the heavy war chest to come into. I think the government should really look into the existing or upcoming petroleum refiners to see where they need assistance, and government should offer assistance where need be. It could be maybe giving them backup for credit and all that, for loans. But I think the government has to do what we call petroleum refiners development now. Government has to intentionally step out to develop other entrepreneurs that can venture into petroleum refining. Like I said, it is very heavy. It's not about PIA this time. PIA is well structured. I mean, very well structured. But we're talking implementation now. Okay? It's one thing to have a well-structured document. It's another thing to be able to implement that document in the letter. And the obvious, situation we're in right now, the government needs to step in and assist those with petroleum refining licenses that are yet to come on stream. They need to call them, invite them, have a serious meeting with them, and explore areas of possible cooperation, collaboration, and assistance. They need to develop them, or else we'll be in this monopoly for a long while. And sincerely, like I said, for me, monopoly is not a very serious problem if we're transparent. And then when we're in this situation, we need a lot of transparency into the pricing of these products. Give us visibility into the pricing of this product. Let's see the breakdown of these products. Then we'll be fine. And that I think is the way to go. The government really needs to step in a great deal.
And it's great that the government is looking into, the CNG as an alternative to all of this. But what's the prospect amidst this uncertainty that we see as regards the use of fuel?
For me, CNG is one area that we need to explore and develop very, very well. I have very serious safety concerns about CNG. I'm comfortable with CNG. Now, we're encouraging people to go to retrofitting centers so that the retrofitting kits will be installed to convert vehicles from PMS to CNG. I tell you, those car engines are originally designed to run on PMS combustion. Now we want to change to gas combustion, just using some kits. I would rather opt for cars that were originally manufactured with engines to run on CNG. Sincerely, conversion, I'm not a fan. I'm not a fan of converting to CNG. I mean, converting existing PMS engines to CNG. I'm not that fan. Not. It's risky. I've seen videos on WhatsApp where at a particular CNG gas station, there was a particular car that was being topped up. I mean, gas filling ongoing. And the next thing, there was a terrible explosion.
Right.
The entire rear compartment of that vehicle got blown off. As in, not just blown up, it got blown off. So we need to really, really drill further down into the safety of CNG conversion.
All right.
That's my take on that.
All right. Mr. Adesegun Shibanjo, the lead consultant, Macbit Transnational Limited, we thank you very much for your time. We apologize also to our viewers because of, the glitches, audio glitches over the line there. But thanks a lot for your contributions on the program, Mr. Adesegun Shibanjo. Right. You're watching TVC Breakfast. Yep. When we return, world leaders advocate for a two-state solution to the crisis in Gaza. Join us after the break for this important discussion.